All right, so today we're going to be diving into some ancient Chinese wisdom. We're going to be exploring the world of traditional Chinese medicine,
Right.
specifically
Yeah.
the W Shu, the 5 transport points. And our guide for this deep dive is going to be an excerpt from the Yellow Emperor's classic of internal medicine.
A classic text really lays out the foundational principles of acupuncture. And it does so in a way that's poetic and yet practical.
Yeah, it's fascinating. What always blows my mind is just the concept of meridians, those
Right.
invisible channels that carry ki or vital energy throughout the body.
It's like an energetic roadmap for understanding how our bodies work.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, brilliant system.
Mm-hmm.
And you can imagine them like rivers nourishing the landscape, right?
Okay.
And the 5 transport points are like key access points along those rivers where we can sort of influence the flow of ki to promote healing.
So by stimulating those points, we can actually impact the flow of energy in our bodies.
Yeah, exactly.
That's incredible.
And the Yellow Emperor's Classic really provides us with a detailed guide to these points and their functions.
So let's imagine we're right there with the Yellow Emperor himself.
Yeah.
And he's asking his physician, Kibo, to explain these principles to him, right?
Love that. It's like we're getting a private lesson from a master.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. So the Yellow Emperor turns to Kibo and he's like, all right, wise physician. So tell me about these 5 transport points.
Nice.
What are they and why are they so important?
Well, Kibo would probably start by explaining that each of the 5 points, Jingwell, Yingspring, Shou Stream, Jing River, and Heian, represents a different stage in the flow of Ki-Ba along a meridian.
Real, it's such a visual representation. I love that.
Sure.
Like it's like following the journey of water from a bubbling spring down to a vast, expansive sea.
Great way to visualize it. The Jingwell point, located at the tips of your fingers and toes, it's like this initial burst of energy.
Yeah.
Right. And then from there, it goes to the Yingspring point, where the Qi is a little more lively, a little more dynamic. And then you have the Shou Stream point, where the flow kind of gains momentum and becomes more directed.
So each point has like its own unique character and function.
Exactly.
Based on where it sits along this energetic river, right?
Absolutely. And really understanding these characteristics helps practitioners to choose the right points to stimulate based on the patient's condition.
Right.
For example, if someone's feeling depleted, a practitioner might focus on detunifying the Jingwell points to boost their overall energy levels.
So it's not just sticking needles in randomly. It's
Right.
like understanding this map and how to influence it, right?
Exactly. There's a method to the madness, right? Now, the Yellow Emperor's Classic outlines 12 primary meridians, each associated with a specific organ system.
Okay.
And you can just imagine the emperor, captivated by this knowledge, requesting, a detailed explanation of each meridian. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So let's dive into that first meridian,
Right.
the lung meridian of Han-Tai-Yin.
Okay.
And it begins at a point called Shaoshang, which is located at the tip of your thumb.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Jingwell point, the very source of Qi for this meridian, right?
So if someone is having trouble breathing or, experiencing some lung-related issues, that would be a good point to target.
You got it.
Okay.
And then from Shaoshang, the Qi flows downward to Yuji at the base of your thumb, the Ying spring point where the energy's a bit more invigorated.
Hmm.
And then it continues to Taiwan, which is found in the hollow near your wrist.
Okay.
And that's the Shi stream point.
Wow. I'm already starting to see how this could be so helpful
Right.
in understanding how TCM approaches healing and health. Yeah.
Absolutely. And Kibo would then draw the emperor's attention further down the meridian, describing Jingquei at the radial pulse as the Jinger River point, where Qi is constantly in motion. And finally, you arrive at Chess, located in the crook of your elbow, which is the He-Si point, where the lung meridian's energy pools, right?
It's incredible to think that like these specific locations on our body hold like so much potential
Right.
to influence our health. Yeah.
It is. And one thing that's really fascinating about the lung meridian is that the text connects the lung meridian to the metal element
Right.
within the 5 elements theory.
Yeah. I've always been a little fuzzy on how the 5 elements tie into this whole system.
Yeah, so the 5 elements, wood, fire, earth, metal, and water, they're constantly interacting and transforming, right? They represent different qualities and energies, and each meridian is associated with one of these elements.
Okay.
And so the lung meridian, being linked to metal, reflects its role in letting go, both physically, like exhaling,
Right, yeah.
but also emotionally, like releasing grief or sadness.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
It adds another layer, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, yeah.
Now, the Yellow Emperor, eager to deepen his understanding, would have surely asked about the meridian that's responsible for governing the heart,
Right.
the seat of our emotions, and vitality.
Okay, bring on the heart. So what would Kibo tell the Yellow Emperor about the heart meridian?
Well, he would first draw the emperor's attention to the heart meridian of Hanshuohin, which begins at Zongchong, the Jingwell point, located at the tip of your middle finger.
Okay.
Just like Shaoshang on the lung meridian, it represents the initial spark of qi for this meridian, right?
It's interesting how each of these meridians starts with this tiny, powerful point at the very edge of our bodies.
It's like a seed of potential waiting to unfold, right?
Yeah.
And then the qi flows to Laogong, situated right in the center of your palm. That's the yin spring point, where the energy is a bit more vibrant and expressive.
Laogong meaning palace of toil, right?
Right.
It makes you think about all the work our hands do and how they express our intentions in the world.
It's a nice connection there, right? Between our physical actions and our inner energy.
Yeah.
Kibo would then go on to highlight Daling, the shoestream point, located between the tendons at your wrist.
The wrist, okay.
Right. And he'd emphasize that Daling can be a powerful point for calming the spirit and easing emotional distress. It's kind of like a pressure valve for releasing pent-up emotions.
Yeah.
Then he'd move on to Jianxi, the Jing River point, located about 3 inches above your wrist.
Okay.
And this point acts like a messenger, facilitating the smooth flow of qi along the meridian.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, the journey concludes at Kuei's, nestled in the hollow of your inner elbow.
Okay.
This is the He-Si point for the heart meridian, where energy collects and can be influenced to restore balance,
Mm-hmm.
So if someone's experiencing anxiety or insomnia, stimulating Kuei's can help to calm the mind and promote restful sleep.
Right. So we've explored the lung meridian, which is about letting go, and the heart meridian, which is about our emotions, our spirit.
Right.
This is already a lot to take in, but I'm ready for more. So where to next on this journey?
Well, the Yellow Emperor, driven by this thirst for knowledge, right, would have surely requested to learn about the meridian responsible for smooth flow and detoxification, the liver meridian.
All right. Let's dive into the liver meridian.
All right. So this meridian starts at Daedun, the Jingwell point found at the tip of your big toe.
Interesting.
We're back at the extremities again.
Yeah.
Emphasizes how qi originates at our furthest points and flows inward, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then he would draw the emperor's attention to Xingjin, the Eng spring point located between your first and second toes.
Okay.
And from there, it's like a ripple effect as the qi moves through the meridian, right? Then Kiba would explain that after Xingjian, the qi flows to Taichung, a shoestream point located just a couple of inches above Xingjian in a depression between the tendons.
Mm-hmm.
And stimulating this point can be really helpful if you're feeling stressed or irritable, as it's known to help smooth the flow of qi and ease frustration.
Right. Okay, so we've got the source, we've got the kind of a spring, and now we've got the stream.
Right. So then, of course, you have the river.
Right.
Kibo would then indicate Zongfeng, the Jing River point, which is located about 1.5 inches in front of your inner ankle bone.
Okay.
And this point he would emphasize is all about smooth flow and balance.
Yeah.
Much like the liver's role in detoxifying the body and regulating emotions, right?
So it's really about keeping things moving harmoniously.
And then finally, we arrive at the sea, right?
Right.
The liver meridian's qi ultimately gathers at Kuakuan, the QC point, found just above the inner part of your knee. And this point is believed to be particularly helpful for soothing menstrual cramps and regulating the menstrual cycle.
Wow. So we're really starting to build a map of these pathways in our minds,
It is incredible how detailed and specific this ancient knowledge is.
Yeah, it's fast.
Connecting seemingly disparate aspects of our health, right? And keep in mind, we've only just begun to explore 3 of the 12 primary meridians.
Right.
And so the Yellow Emperor, in his thirst for knowledge, would have undoubtedly pressed Kibo for even more information, wanting to understand every nuance of this system.
I can definitely relate to that. But I think this is a good place to pause for now.
Okay.
When we come back, we'll continue this journey through the remaining meridians and uncover even more fascinating insights from the Yellow Emperor's Classic.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the Yellow Emperor's Classic of Internal Medicine.
I'm so excited to continue exploring the 5 transport points. It feels like we're piecing together an ancient map revealing all these secrets of qi flow in the body.
It really is a journey of discovery. We've explored the lung, heart, and liver meridians so far, which are all yin meridians, primarily associated with the inner workings of the body.
Oh, yin and yang,
Yeah.
another key concept in TCM.
Absolutely. Yin and yang represent the fundamental forces of the universe. Darkness and light, stillness and movement, constantly interacting and seeking balance. The 12 primary meridians are categorized as either yin or yang, reflecting their unique energetic qualities.
So the yin meridians we've talked about so far, they're more about the internal landscape, whereas the yang meridians have more of an external focus.
Precisely. The yang meridians are more about how we interact with the world around us, our defenses, and how we process our experiences.
That makes a lot of sense. So which yang meridian are we going to explore next in our conversation with the Yellow Emperor and Kibo?
Let's turn our attention to the spleen meridian, a yang meridian that's deeply connected to nourishment and transformation.
Okay.
Think of it as the digestive system of our energetic body.
So the spleen meridian helps us break down not just food, but experiences and emotions as well.
Exactly. Kibo would explain to the Yellow Emperor that the spleen meridian of foot tie-in begins at a Jingwell point called Yinbai, located at the inside tip of your big toe.
Interesting. So even though it's a yang meridian, it still originates from that point of concentrated qi at the extremity.
Precisely. From Yinbai, the qi flows to Dadu, the yin spring point, found at the base of your big toe where the energy is a bit more active and dispersing.
So if someone is having digestive issues or feeling sluggish or stuck, stimulating those points could be helpful.
It could be. Remember, these points are like gateways that we can use to nudge the qi in a particular direction to encourage balance and harmony.
It's just, I love how practical this ancient wisdom is. What's next on our journey through the spleen meridian?
Next up is Taibai, the shoestring point, located beneath your navicular bone. That's the bone on the inside of your foot, just below your ankle.
Okay, so we're moving up the leg.
And he'd likely emphasize that Taibai is a key point for strengthening the digestive system and promoting, healthy assimilation of nutrients.
Okay, so it's like giving your digestive qi a little boost.
Exactly.
So after Taibai, we come to Shenkui, the Jing River point.
You got it. Shenkui is located below your medial malleolus.
Right.
That's the bony bump on the inside of your ankle.
Okay, I'm starting to learn all the anatomy terms. So after the river, we reach the sea, right? Where does the spleen meridian's energy finally gather?
The spleen meridian culminates at Yinlingquan, the He-Si point, located just below your knee on the inside of your leg. And this point, Kibo might explain to the emperor, is particularly important for regulating fluid metabolism. In other words, it helps to prevent dampness from accumulating in the body.
Dampness. What exactly does that mean in TCM?
So dampness in TCM is an imbalance that can manifest as bloating, fatigue, digestive issues, or even feeling foggy mentally.
Okay.
It's like having excess moisture in the body that's not flowing properly.
Oh, I can relate to that.
So stimulating Yinlingquan could help to address those issues.
Gotcha. Okay, so we've explored the spleen meridian, one of the yang meridians responsible for transforming and assimilating energy. What other yang meridian is waiting to be explored?
Let's move on to the kidney meridian, a pathway that's deeply connected to our core vitality and essence.
The kidney meridian. Okay, that sounds interesting. What would Kibo tell the Yellow Emperor about this meridian?
He might begin by explaining that the kidney meridian of Fushayan starts its journey at Yangquan, the Jingwell point, located on the sole of your foot.
Yangquan, that name sounds familiar. Isn't that a key point in practices like Tai Chi and Qigong?
It is. Yangquan, meaning gushing spring, is considered a vital point for grounding energy and connecting with the Earth's Kai.
Wow, I love that. It makes me want to go stand barefoot on the grass right now.
It's a powerful practice.
Yeah.
Now, according to the Yellow Emperor's Classic, the qi flows upward from Yangquan to Rangu, the Ying spring point, which is located below your navicular bone on the inside of your foot.
Okay, so we're back on that inner ankle bone.
Right. It's a major intersection for energy flow, much like a bustling crossroads in a city.
Yeah.
From Rangu, the kidney meridian's Kai continues its journey to Taixi, the Sha stream point, located just behind your medial malleolus in a depression above your heel.
Okay, so we got the spring and now the stream.
Right, so then we're approaching the river now. The Jing River point on the kidney meridian is called Fuliu, and it's located about 2 inches above Taixi.
Okay.
And this point is particularly important for regulating fluid balance in the body and supporting the kidney's role in filtering waste products.
It's amazing how each of these points has like a specific function, and they all like work together to create this system.
And then finally, you arrive at the Hisi point for the kidney meridian called Yingu. It's found in a hollow at the back of your knee between the tendons.
So the kidney meridian's journey starts at the feet and ends at the knee. That's a pretty long pathway. So what would Kibo say about the overall function of this meridian?
He'd likely emphasize that the kidney meridian governs our core energy reserves, our vitality, and even our willpower,
Wow.
It's really the foundation of our overall health and well-being, according to TCM.
So paying attention to the health of our kidney meridian is essential for feeling energized and resilient.
You could say that. It's like tending to the roots of a tree,
Nice.
If the roots are strong, the whole tree can flourish.
I love that analogy. Okay, so we've explored the spleen meridian, which helps us digest and assimilate, and the kidney meridian, which governs our core energy. What other fascinating meridian is waiting to be uncovered?
Let's shift gears slightly and explore a meridian that's a bit more expansive in its reach.
Okay.
A bladder meridian.
The bladder meridian, huh? That sounds interesting. What makes this meridian so special?
So Kibo might have explained to the Yellow Emperor that the bladder meridian is the longest and most complex of the 12 primary meridians.
Yeah.
It runs along the back of the body from the head all the way down to the feet. With 2 branches, it's like a major highway of energy flow.
That's impressive. So where does this energetic highway begin?
Like all meridians, it starts at a Jingwell point.
Okay.
And in this case, it's Xin, located at the outside tip of your little toe. And this point is particularly significant for addressing headaches and regulating the flow of qi in the head.
So if someone is experiencing a tension headache, stimulating Xin could be helpful.
It could be. Now, from Xin, the qi flows to Tonggu, the Jing spring point, found on the outside of your foot, just ahead of the little toe joint.
Okay, so we're moving along the outer edge of the foot now.
Exactly.
Okay.
Next up is Shugu, the shu stream point, located just behind the little toe joint, and Kibo might have emphasized that this point is particularly important for addressing back pain and stiffness.
Interesting. So even though we're starting at the foot, the bladder meridian has like a strong connection to the back.
Exactly. And that connection becomes even more apparent as we continue along the meridian. The next point is Jingu, located below your 5th metatarsal. That's the bone on the outside of your foot, connected to your little toe.
Okay.
And Jingu is a special point known as the Yuan source point. So think of the Yuan source point as like a deep reservoir of energy. For the meridian, it's where the qin is particularly potent, and it can be accessed to treat a wider range of conditions.
So it's like tapping into a hidden source of power within the meridian.
Exactly. And then you come to the Jing River point, Kunlun, which is situated behind your outer ankle bone just above your heel. And this point is particularly significant for addressing sciatica and lower back pain.
Another point to remember for back health. So we've reached the river. Where does the bladder meridian's comp finally flow into the sea?
The bladder meridian culminates at Weishong, the Hisi point, nestled right in the center of the crease at the back of your knee. And this point is a powerhouse for relieving pain and tension throughout the back and legs. And it's also believed to help calm the mind and reduce anxiety.
Wow, that's quite a versatile point. It's incredible how each meridian has like its own pathway and influence on our health and well-being.
It's truly remarkable. And remember, we've just scratched the surface of the bladder meridian's complexity. It's a meridian that deserves a deep dive all its own.
I can only imagine. Okay, so we've explored 5 of the 12 primary meridians, each with its own set of transport points and functions. I'm already feeling more in tune with my own like energetic landscape.
That's wonderful to hear.
Yeah.
This ancient wisdom has so much insight into how our bodies truly function.
Yeah.
And there's still so much more to explore.
I can't wait to uncover more secrets of the 5 transport points. But for now, let's take a short break. When we return, we'll delve into the remaining meridians and discover even more fascinating insights from the Yellow Emperor's classic Don't Go Anywhere. All right, we're back, ready to continue exploring these 5 transport points.
It's amazing how much wisdom is packed into the Yellow Emperor's classic,
It really is. It's incredible. We've explored 5 meridians so far, the lung, heart, liver, spleen, and kidney, each with its own unique pathway and function. And I'm really starting to grasp how they all like work together to create this web of energy flow in the body. It's like we're piecing together an energetic puzzle.
That's a great way to put it. And remember, we still have 7 more meridians to explore.
I know. Okay, so I'm ready to dive back into that imaginary conversation with the Yellow Emperor and Kibo. So which meridian are we tackling next?
Let's continue our exploration of yang meridians with the gallbladder meridian. And this one is really fascinating because it's not just about the physical gallbladder. It's also associated with decision-making, planning, and even courage.
Wait, the gallbladder meridian influences our courage. That's incredible. I never would have guessed that connection.
It really is a great example of how TCM views the interconnectedness of our physical, mental, and emotional states. There's no separation. Everything's interwoven.
So what would Kibo tell the Yellow Emperor about this meridian?
Well, he would start by explaining that the gallbladder meridian begins at Kiwine, the Jingwell point, located on the outer tip of your 4th toe.
Okay, back to the toes we go. It seems like so many meridians originate from those like tiny points at the extremities.
Yeah, it's like our fingers and toes are these powerful, energetic gateways connecting us to the flow of Qi throughout the body, right?
That's like our toes are a mini map of the body's energy.
From Kiawin, the Qi flows to Jiaxi, the Ying spring point, nestled in the space between your 4th and 5th toes.
Okay.
And then Kibo would likely point out Linqi, the shoe stream point, which is located about 1.5 inches above Jiaxi, and this point is known for its ability to relieve headaches, especially those that feel tight and constricted.
So if you're feeling a tension headache coming on, stimulating Linqi might help ease that.
Yeah, it's definitely a point to consider. And remember that TCM is really about understanding the individual's unique patterns and finding the right approach for their needs.
Right.
Now, next on our gallbladder meridian tour is Qi Shu, which is another yuan source point we've encountered before, and it's located just ahead of your outer ankle bone.
Right, those yuan source points, they're like energy reservoirs that we can tap into.
Exactly, like power boosters for the meridian's energy.
Okay.
So from Qi Shu, the Qi continues to flow to Yangfu, the Jing River point, which you can find just above your outer ankle bone near your fibula.
Okay, so we've followed the Qi from the spring to the stream to the river. Now, where does this energy flow finally lead us?
Kiba would guide the Yellow Emperor's attention to Yangling Quan, the He-Si point,
Okay.
located in a depression on the outer side of your knee. And this point is particularly important for relieving pain and tension in the hips, thighs, and knees.
So the gallbladder meridian, while influencing our decision-making and courage, also plays a role in our physical mobility.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's another beautiful example of how TCM views that interconnectedness of our physical, mental, and emotional states.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. I'm ready to delve into another meridian. So what's next?
Let's shift our focus to the stomach meridian, which is a yang meridian. It's all about receiving and digesting. But here's the fascinating part. It's not just about digesting food. It's about digesting experiences, emotions, even thoughts.
The stomach meridian digesting experiences, that's such a fascinating concept.
It really speaks to that holistic view of TCM, recognizing that our mental and emotional states have a direct impact on our physical health.
Absolutely, yeah.
So Kibo, in his explanation to the Yellow Emperor, would have pointed out that the stomach meridian begins its journey at Ledui, the Jingwell point, located on the outside tip of your 2nd toe.
Okay, back to the toes again. I'm starting to feel like I could navigate these meridians with my eyes closed.
So from Ledui, the Qi flows to Niting, the Ying spring point, which is found in the space between your 2nd and 3rd toes.
Okay.
And then it continues to Shangu, the Shu stream point, located a couple of inches above Niting. And you might find stimulating this point helpful if you're experiencing nausea or other digestive discomfort.
Okay.
It's known for its ability to harmonize the stomach's Qi and ease those symptoms.
So we've got the spring, we've got the stream. What comes next?
Next up is Chonyang, the Yuan source point, which is located about 5 inches above your foot in a depression on the top. And remember, these Yuan source points, they're like energy reservoirs, you know?
Right, like potent points for regulating the meridian's flow.
Exactly.
It's just amazing how these points are like placed so strategically, you know?
They're like key access points for restoring balance and vitality, you know?
Yeah.
So after Chonyang, we arrive at Jiexi, the Jing River point,
Okay.
situated just 1.5 inches above. And this point is all about promoting that smooth flow of Qi through the stomach meridian, supporting healthy digestion and assimilation.
It's like each point has its own like unique role to play, you know?
Exactly. It's an intricate symphony.
Yeah, yeah.
And finally, we reach Schelling, the Hisi point,
Okay.
located 3 inches below your knee on the outside of your shin bone. And this point is often used in TCM to address a wide range of digestive issues, from bloating, abdominal pain to constipation and diarrhea.
Wow. So the stomach meridian, it sounds like it's like so essential for overall well-being, not just digestive health.
You could say that. In TCM, the stomach is seen as much more than just a physical organ. It's about how we receive and process not just food, but experiences and information from the world around us.
Right. Yeah. It's how we take things in, right?
Exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I'm starting to see how interconnected everything really is. So what other meridian awaits us on this energetic adventure?
Let's move on to the Sanjiao meridian, a yang meridian that's often translated as triple burner or triple heater.
The triple burner, that's a new one for me. What exactly is that?
So it's not an organ in the conventional sense, but rather a concept in TCM that describes the body's 3 energetic centers.
Okay.
The upper, middle, and lower burners.
So it's more of an energetic framework than an actual physical structure?
Exactly. The upper burner is associated with respiration and circulation. So think of it as the area from your head to your diaphragm.
Okay.
The middle burner focuses on digestion and assimilation. That's the area from your diaphragm to your navel.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then the lower burner governs elimination and fluid metabolism. So that's the area from your navel to your lower abdomen.
So the Sanjiao meridian is like a master regulator of these 3 vital functions.
You got it. And Kibo, in his explanation to the Yellow Emperor, would have pointed out that the Sanjiao meridian begins at Guanchong, the Jingwell point, located on the outer tip of your ring finger.
Another fingertip point. It's amazing how much like energetic potential is in our fingertips.
There's like our energetic antenna constantly receiving and transmitting qi.
So from Guanchong, the qi flows to Yemen, the yin spring point found in the space between your ring and little fingers.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then Kibo pointed out Zhongzhou, the shu stream point, which is located on the back of your hand just below your 4th knuckle.
It's amazing how these points are just like mapped out so precisely on our bodies.
It's really a testament to the depth and sophistication of this medicine.
Yeah.
Next on our Sanjiao meridian tour is Yangqi, the Yan source point, found at your wrist crease, another one of those energy hubs.
Right, right.
So we got the spring, we got the stream, and now the source. So what comes next? Then we're approaching the river. The Jing River point on the Sanjiao meridian is called Zigu, and is located about 3 inches above your wrist crease, between your radius and ulna bones. And this point is often used in TCM to address imbalances in the Sanjiao's functions, like digestive issues, fluid retention, or a urinary problem.
So the Sanjiao meridian is involved in a lot of different functions, you know?
That is.
Yeah.
And finally, you reach the Hisi point, Tianjing, nestled on the outside of your elbow. And this point is particularly important for regulating the body's temperature, fluid balance, and overall metabolism.
So it's like the Sanjiao meridian is the master conductor of our internal orchestra, you know?
It's a beautiful way to put it.
Making sure everything's in sync.
It highlights the vital role that the Sanjiao meridian plays in maintaining our overall health and harmony. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've explored the stomach meridian and the intricate Sanjiao meridian. Are you ready to keep going?
I'm ready. So what's next?
Let's explore the small intestine meridian, a yang meridian that plays a crucial role in discernment, absorption, and letting go of what no longer serves us.
The small intestine meridian helping us let go. That's an interesting connection.
It speaks to how TCM views digestion as a process that extends beyond the physical realm, encompassing our thoughts, emotions, and experiences as well. So just as the small intestine sorts and absorbs nutrients from food,
right,
the small intestine meridian helps us discern what's beneficial and what we need to release on an emotional and mental level.
That's powerful. So where does this meridian begin its journey?
Kibo, guiding the Yellow Emperor on this exploration, would have pointed out that the small intestine meridian starts its journey at Shao's, the Jingwell point, located on the outer tip of your little finger.
Back to the fingertips. It's incredible how much like energetic significance is packed into like those tiny points.
They're like the starting points for so many energetic journeys throughout the body, right? So from Jiao, the qi flows to Qiangu, the Jing spring point, found on the outer side of your hand, just ahead of your little finger knuckle.
Okay, so we're moving along the outer edge of the hand again. What would Kibo say about the function of Qiangu?
He might emphasize that Qiangu is a very helpful point for relieving tension and pain in the neck, shoulders, and upper back.
Okay.
And it can be particularly beneficial if you're feeling stiffness or restriction in those areas.
Okay, so we got the spring. What comes next?
Well, the stream, of course. The shu stream point on the small intestine meridian is called huxi, located on the back of your hand, just behind your little finger knuckle.
Okay, so we're really getting to know that outer edge of the hand.
And huxi is another point that can be helpful for releasing tension in the upper body. And it's also believed to have a calming effect on the mind and emotions. In fact, some TCM practitioners even refer to huxi as the gateway to the spirit because of its ability to help us connect with our inner peace, right?
That's really powerful. It's amazing how these points can impact both our physical and emotional states.
And then after huxi, we come to wengu, the yun source point. Remember, those are the points where the meridian's qi is particularly potent.
Right.
And you can find wengu just ahead of the bony bump on the outside of your wrist.
So stimulating wengu would be like giving the small intestine meridian a little energetic boost.
You could say that. So from wengu, the qi continues to flow to yangu, the Jing River point, located below your ulna bone, in a depression on the outside of your wrist. And this point is all about promoting a smooth and harmonious flow of qi along the meridian, supporting the small intestine's ability to discern and absorb what's beneficial.
It's like each point is a vital part of this energetic dance.
Exactly. And finally, we reach the He-Si point called Jiaohai, and you can find it on the outer side of your elbow, nestled in the crease. And this point is often used in TCM to address a range of issues, from neck and shoulder pain to digestive discomfort and emotional imbalances.
So the small intestine meridian really does play a role in both our physical and emotional well-being.
It does, and it really highlights the beautiful interconnectedness of our being.
I'm ready for the final meridian on our list. So which one is it?
Let's wrap up our exploration with the large intestine meridian. This yang meridian is all about letting go, both physically and emotionally, just as the large intestine eliminates waste from the body.
Right.
The large intestine meridian helps us release what no longer serves us on an energetic level.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. So where does this meridian begin its journey of letting go?
Well, the large intestine meridian begins at Shangyang, the Jingwell point, located on the outer tip of your index finger.
Another fingertip point. It's like they're the starting point for so many important energetic pathways.
They really are. From Shangyang, the qi flows to Erdogan, the qi spring point, found just ahead of your index finger knuckle.
Okay, so we're moving along that outer edge of the hand again. What comes next?
Next up is Sanjiao, the shu stream point, located just behind your index finger knuckle, and this point is known for its ability to relieve toothaches and jaw pain.
Another good one to remember. So we got the spring, we got the stream. What's next?
Well, Kibo will then lead the Yellow Emperor's attention to Hegu, the yuan source point, located between your thumb and index finger in that fleshy webbed area. And this is a very well-known point, even outside of TCM circles,
right? Because
of its potent ability to relieve pain and promote overall well-being.
Yeah, I've heard of Hegu before. It seems like it's good for a lot of different things.
It is. It's often used for headaches, toothaches, colds, and even immune support. So after Hegu, we come to Yangtze, the Jing River point, located on the outer edge of your wrist in a depression between the tendons. And this point can be helpful for addressing wrist pain and stiffness.
Okay, so we're moving up the arm now, following the flow of qi.
And then finally, we arrive at Kruchi, the He-Si point located in the crook of your elbow, and this point is particularly important for addressing heat and inflammation in the body, as well as promoting the smooth flow of qi through the large intestine meridian.
So the large intestine meridian, while, primarily associated with elimination, it also plays a role in regulating inflammation and supporting overall well-being.
Precisely. It shows us, once again, how interconnected all of the body's systems truly are.
Wow, we did it. We explored all 12 primary meridians. We delved into their 5 transport points and their functions. It's been an incredible journey through the energetic landscape of the body.
It really has. And, we've only just scratched the surface of this vast and profound system of medicine. But I hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity and given you a new appreciation for the wisdom of TCM.
Absolutely. I feel like I've gained a whole new understanding of of how my body works, you know? It's incredible to be able to tap into this ancient knowledge.
It is. And you know what? I would encourage you to explore these points that we've talked about.
Yeah.
See if you can locate them on your own body. Perhaps you can even sense the subtle flow of kin along those meridians. And remember that the Yellow Emperor's Classic is just one doorway into the vast world of traditional Chinese medicine.
It's just the beginning.
There's a lifetime of knowledge waiting to be discovered.
And we'll be here to explore it with you. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.